So we've been asking the question, mech versus mech, randomly pulling two mechs, sending them virtual, head-to-head, building that checklist, exploring some ideas, and asking who would come out on top. Of course, looking at heavy mechs and assault mechs. All mechs are my favorite, but I prefer the big guns. We're going to jump back and now explore some light mechs. And I've been randomly drawing mechs for the matchup, but we're going to bend the rules a little bit because there is a request, and this request involves an Urbanmech. And when the Urby is summoned, we have to explore that. Urbanmech versus Jenner. Now, both light mechs, but is this really fair? Is this really fair? Because the Jenner is an amazing machine. It's kind of like if you don't know what light mech to take, you take a Jenner. It's got the speed. It can threaten, honestly, lower tier, lower tonnage medium mechs. It makes an amazing backstabber mech. The ability with its speed to just run up there and blitz with all the lasers. Yes, you take a couple of hits, the arms drop off, you lose weapons really fast, but that's kind of negated based on that speed and knowing when to attack. So the Jenner is a very, very potent light mech. On the other hand, we have the Urby. And the reputation of the Urbanmech aside, for a light mech, it does have good armor. And it does mount an autocannon 10 as that primary weapon. Dependent on ammunition, but it's a light mech. And if we're going to engage aggressively or if we're going to run out of ammo, an autocannon 10, a PPC, something larger than a medium laser, that's got some bite. That's got some bite on a light mech. So the question is, can Urby utilize that range and that firepower on the Jenner? So the biggest mismatch, in my opinion, speed. We have a very fast mech, an Urbanmech. I'm pretty sure, you guys will fact check me on this. There's a lot of mechs out there. The slowest mech in the game, on par with the behemoth Battletech. I remember playing a game, I didn't realize just how slow the behemoth Battletech is and how slow Urby was early on. I was playing a game, behemoth 100-ton Battletech, every weapon in the game, tremendous armor. It'll make an Atlas cry and run away. I had one all the way on the left side of the table and one all the way on the right side of the table because I didn't know where my opponent was going to engage. Well, they engaged in the middle, then ran all their mechs over to the right. My behemoth tank on the left spent the entire game moving pitiful hexes, just trying to make it across the board. So I know how slow can be. And this is the first question. How does the Urbanmech counter the speed of the Jenner? Because if it can counter that speed, then maybe it can utilize that autocannon. I see Urby as being completely defensive. And that's not always true when using it normally. There is no way the Urbanmech is going to be able to outmaneuver or outperform the Jenner. So tactically speaking, if I'm the Urby pilot, I'm thinking I want my back to the wall. If we're not in an urban environment, now this is getting a little bit of metagaming, but it's possible. I want to back up against the hex map. I want to be right there in the corner. So this way, at least my facing is always facing that Jenner. Or if I can't realistically do that, can I get up against some elevation or some terrain features or a building so the Jenner is facing me? The Jenner doesn't run around behind. And of course, it'll come down to initiative or other aspects. But as much as I love the Urby, I just can't see it. The Jenner is going to bring more weapons to the table. Urbanmech can fire that small laser. But having one weapon with no backup, Jenner will be able to blitz it, be able to utilize those short-range missiles, be able to utilize the lasers, run rings around it, and just defensively, that really puts the Urbanmech on the defensive. But even that, I think it's going to be overpowered and overpushed. Now, I know we can't talk about variants. Or can we talk about variants? I think possibly, maybe the autocannon 20. There's really, if we think about it, is there a difference between the AC-20 and the autocannon 10? They're both one-shot weapons. Yes, massive difference in range. But if the Jenner gets it long range and I can scoot up or catch it, I'm at long range. I only have one shot. Those are going to be extremely high modifiers based on the range of that autocannon. Could I push that out? If I score a hit, that would be devastating. But that's really like, just that golden shot to make that happen. I don't think we could certainly rely on that. It might be more efficient to have the 10 and just try to blitz away from that. Okay, turning it over to you guys. I love the Jenner. I love the Urby. I'm always sold on the Urby. I bring it with me to every single battle for the lulls, joining the ranks of the dispossessed from an Urbanmech. That's worth the price of admission, regardless of the mission or winning the mission. But Urbanmech versus Jenner, I think it's going to be really hard for the Urbanmech.